I was 30 years old, sitting in the dusty, neglected study of the man who was supposed to be my hero. My grandfather, Elias Thorne, I was there with my father, Arthur, and my older sister, Serena, listening to the reading of the will. We all knew what was coming. Elias, a brilliant but eccentric shipping magnate, had promised the jewel of his estate, the sprawling, cliffside mansion in Monaco, the one worth nearly $100 million, to me. It was his subtle way of saying I was the favorite, the one who saw the world through his complex, creative lens. So, when the lawyer, Mr. Davies, read the initial lines confirming the transfer of the Monaco estate, Serena, the calculating corporate lawyer, went pale with fury, and my father, the eternal seconding command, looked disappointed but accepting. But here is the hook. The moment my blood ran cold, the lawyer paused, adjusted his glasses, and announced a codicil asterisk, a secret amendment added just weeks before Elias passed. He stated, in a voice heavy with finality, that the Monaco mansion was, in fact, not being transferred to me directly. It was being held in a perpetual trust, accessible only to the true steward of the Thorne legacy, defined by a series of 3 impossible, cryptic conditions. The worst part. The conditions seemed designed to humiliate me, requiring me to give up my career, move into a dilapidated industrial property, and reconcile with the one Thorne family member Elias publicly despised. The codicil felt like a betrayal from the grave, snatching my inheritance away the moment it was within reach. But I accepted the challenge, because the codicil didn't just contain impossible demands. It contained the hidden blueprint to Elias's entire, final revenge plan against my father and sister. Was I wrong to treat my grandfather's last wishes like an escape room, meticulously solving his riddles to claim the prize, and, in the process, expose my family's deep-seated avarice? Tell me honestly, if your legacy was snatched away by a riddle, would you walk away or solve it to claim everything? My name is Julian Thorne and my life, until that day, was defined by my relationship with my grandfather, Elias. Elias Thorne was a legend, a self-made man who started with one rusty tugboat and built the massive international shipping conglomerate, Thorne Global Freight, He was a Renaissance man, a shrewd businessman, a patron of the arts, and a collector of impossible puzzles. He was the only person in my family who ever truly saw me. My father, Arthur Thorne was Elias's only son, but he was always relegated to the role of chief operating officer, efficient, yes, but devoid of the spark and vision Elias valued. Arthur was obsessed with status and routine, viewing everything through a lens of conservative, quarterly earnings. My sister, Serena, was Arthur's perfect apprentice. She was 2 years older than me, a corporate lawyer who specialized in mergers and acquisitions, cold, calculating, and absolutely focused on inheriting the wealth, if not the business. She and Arthur shared the conviction that I was the family black sheep. I was an architect, specializing in sustainable, experimental design, often taking projects that were more conceptually brilliant than financially rewarding. Elias, however, had funded my entire education and always referred to me as his true engineer. The Monaco mansion, a breathtaking architectural feat built into the rock face overlooking the Mediterranean, had been Elias's pet project for 20 years. It was where he and I had spent summers, working on complex mechanical models and talking about impossible designs. He had told me many times that the house was my future. When Elias died suddenly at 92, the family descended on the estate. The will reading was held a week later in the old, dimly lit study of his primary residence, a room filled with charts, nautical maps, and shelves of strange, intricate wooden boxes. The standard provisions were read first. The bulk of the company shares were placed into a charitable foundation, a move that infuriated Arthur and Serena, and various smaller properties went to cousins. Then came the big one, the Monaco mansion. Mr. Davies read the provision. The Monaco estate, known as the Folly, shall be transferred to my grandson, Julian Thorne. Serena hissed a quiet curse. Arthur shifted in his leather chair, massaging his temples. It was exactly as expected. But the lawyer wasn't finished. However, Mr. Davies continued, his voice dropping slightly, this provision is superseded by the codicil, dated October 12th of this year. The Monaco estate shall instead be held in the * Elias Thorne Legacy Trust * in perpetuity, unless and until the following 3 conditions are met by Julian Thorne, establishing him as the true steward of the Thorne legacy. My heart sank. A trust, perpetuity, it was a nightmare. The codicil stated, * Condition 1, the abandoned factory. * Julian must immediately resign from his current firm and, within 48 hours, move into the derelict Thorne Industrial Factory No. 3, on the outskirts of the city. He must reside there alone and without financial assistance for a period of 1 calendar year. This factory was a forgotten, crumbling eyesore that Elias had deliberately allowed to rot. * Condition 2, the sidelined cousin. * Julian must, within 30 days, achieve a full, documented reconciliation with * cousin Marcus *. Marcus was Elias's nephew, who had been banished from the family 15 years ago after a bitter, public corporate disagreement with Arthur. * Condition 3, the impossible design. * Julian must successfully complete the construction of the * Nautilus mechanism * located within Factory No. 3, ensuring it is fully operational. No one, including Arthur or Serena, had ever heard of the Nautilus mechanism. The lawyer finished, setting the room into an immediate, deafening silence. Serena burst into a high-pitched, hysterical laugh. "Are you serious? He has to live in that toxic dump and fix a broken toy. Elias, even in death, had to have his twisted games." Arthur, realizing his son was suddenly out of the running, saw his opportunity. This is clearly an invalid condition. It's punitive and arbitrary, designed to be impossible. But Mr. Davies shook his head. The codicil is ironclad, Arthur. Elias ensured this trust is governed by the conditions, not by standard law. If Julian fails to meet any one of these within the stipulated time, the Monaco estate is liquidated and the funds are added to the General Charitable Foundation, leaving nothing for any of the immediate family. That last line was the ultimate checkmate. Elias had made the Monaco prize a zero-sum game. Either I earned it, or no one in the avaricious family got a penny of that value. I looked at the conditions again. They were impossible, yes, but to Elias, nothing was truly impossible. He was giving me a riddle, a final engineering problem. I knew the factory. It was a huge, old warehouse complex, perfect for my architectural dreams, but completely uninhabitable. Marcus was a corporate genius, but I hadn't spoken to him since I was a teenager. And the Nautilus mechanism. That was the key. The moment the will reading ended, Arthur and Serena, convinced I would fail, launched their own attack. They hired a team of lawyers to challenge the codicil on every legal ground imaginable, hoping to force the liquidation before I could even start. They wanted the mansion gone, so long as I didn't get it. They offered me cash to walk away, a guaranteed trust fund if I signed a waiver agreeing to the liquidation. I refused everything. The challenge wasn't about the money anymore. It was about proving Elias's faith in me was deserved. I resigned from my firm, packed 2 suitcases, and drove straight to the abandoned Factory No. 3. The factory was a monster. 3 stories of concrete and rusted steel, filled with grime, old machinery, and a pervasive smell of oil and decay. I found a small office space on the 3rd floor, cleared the filth, and set up a cot and a laptop. My new life had begun. I started tackling Condition 3, the Nautilus mechanism, first. I spent 2 weeks searching the massive complex, tearing apart old blueprints, and sifting through scrap metal. Then, tucked into a hidden sublevel beneath the main floor, I found it. A massive, custom-built, intricate mechanical device. It wasn't a toy. It was a sophisticated, industrial-sized machine composed of interlocking gears, pumps, and specialized electromagnetic coils. It looked like something Leonardo da Vinci would have designed if he built a hydroelectric plant. But it was incomplete. The power source was missing, and the operational schematics were nowhere to be found. I realized the schematics must be in Elias's other personal effects, the ones Arthur and Serena had locked away. I had to solve Condition 2, reconcile with Marcus, to get the leverage I needed. Marcus, I remembered, wasn't just banished. He was blamed for a massive, failed corporate merger that nearly bankrupted Thorn Global Freight 15 years ago. A failure that Arthur had orchestrated to gain favor with Elias. Marcus had left, started his own incredibly successful consulting firm, and had never looked back. I tracked him down in London and flew there immediately. He was skeptical when I called. "You need something, Julian. Thorns always need something. I need to solve Elias's last puzzle." I told him honestly, "It's a 3-part codicil for the Monaco mansion. The second part requires reconciliation with you. I need you because I think Elias left a blueprint for the Nautilus mechanism in the records you lost when Arthur set you up." Marcus was silent for a long moment. "Arthur set me up. Elias knew that. I think the Nautilus mechanism is the key to proving it," I said. "And I think that's why he made you part of the puzzle. Elias never moved on from injustice. So that's the situation I was in. I was living in a toxic dump, depending entirely on the willingness of a man who hated my family to help me solve a riddle that would secure a $100 million mansion. Arthur and Serena were watching, waiting for me to fail so they could inherit the charitable liquidation. My ability to proceed was now entirely dependent on my ability to convince Marcus that my grandfather, the great Elias Thorne, had left a final, intricate revenge for the 2 people who were currently trying to sabotage me. Before I tell you what Marcus agreed to and what we discovered, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have trusted the bitter, banished cousin with the secret of the codicil, or would you have cut your losses and taken the cash pay out Arthur offered? Seriously, let me know what choice you would have made right there. I trusted Marcus. Elias hadn't included him in the codicil to be cruel. He included him because Marcus was the only other person in the family who understood Elias's obsession with settling scores. Marcus flew back with me the next day. He immediately recognized the sheer scale of the Nautilus mechanism. It was an experimental, high-efficiency system designed to be the power hub for the entire port complex, capable of running all machinery using almost zero external fuel. It was an impossible trillion-dollar idea. This thing was built 15 years ago, Marcus stated, walking around the mechanism. It was the centerpiece of the merger I was running, the one that failed. The merger was based on securing funding for this technology, but the data showing its potential vanished, and the funding collapsed. Arthur blamed me for incompetence. That was the key. We spent the next week searching the factory again, this time with Marcus's specialized knowledge of Elias's corporate filing systems. In the factory's old power substation, behind a rusted-out panel, we found a safe. Inside wasn't gold. It was a set of technical documents and a single, heavy, leather-bound ledger. The technical documents were the complete schematics for the Nautilus mechanism. The ledger was Elias's private log. It contained the final, devastating piece of the puzzle, Arthur's betrayal. Elias's log detailed how Arthur, fearing the revolutionary Nautilus technology would completely restructure the company and reduce his own rigid COO role, had secretly collaborated with a rival company to sabotage the merger. Arthur had deliberately delayed the patent, swapped critical performance data in Marcus's files, and manufactured evidence of Marcus's incompetence to seize more control from Elias. Elias had known Marcus was innocent, but he lacked the final, undeniable proof to expose his own son without destroying the company entirely. The massive, beautiful, impossible machine in the basement was the proof. The schematics showed that the key missing piece, the flux capacitor array, was always intended to be installed at a single, final location, the Monaco mansion. The codicil wasn't just a riddle, it was a time-delayed mechanism for justice. Elias forced me into the factory to find the proof, and forced me to reconcile with Marcus to get the expert knowledge needed to operate the Nautilus. He knew if I found the schematics, I would realize the last piece was in the Monaco mansion, forcing me to complete the legal challenge. We immediately fulfilled Condition 2. Marcus signed a notarized document confirming full, satisfactory reconciliation with me. Condition 1 residency in the factory for a year was ongoing, but now I had a purpose: to build the missing part of the Nautilus mechanism using the factory's tools and the newly discovered schematics. I, the frivolous architect, now had to become the true engineer. Arthur and Serena, meanwhile, were closing in on their legal challenge. They were days away from getting the court to force the liquidation of the Monaco mansion. I had to move fast. I used the time remaining before the court date to build the final component of the Nautilus mechanism. Marcus, leveraging his vast network, arranged for a discreet, highly secured transfer of the component to Monaco, just hours before the court ruling. The confrontation was set for the Monaco mansion itself, a legal inspection, ordered by the court to assess the property before final liquidation. Arthur, Serena, and Mr. Davies were there. I arrived with Marcus, both of us carrying the last, critical component. Arthur was triumphant. "It's over, Julian. The court is ruling against this ridiculous trust. We win. You get nothing." "Not yet," I said calmly, walking straight to the massive, complex facade of the house. Elias's will stated, I must achieve two things to claim the title: prove I am the true steward by solving the riddle, and successfully operate the Nautilus mechanism. The Nautilus mechanism, I said, pointing to the cliff face, is powered by this house. I led them through the mansion, down into the bedrock foundation. There, built into the cliff, was a massive, empty slot in the core structural mechanism of the house, the missing piece of the Nautilus. I inserted the flux capacitor array we had built. As I connected the final wiring, a series of hidden industrial power conduits, camouflaged as architectural features, lit up, running electricity down the cliff face and out into the ocean where the factory was located, demonstrating the mechanism's energy transfer capability. The Monaco mansion, I stated, turning to Arthur, whose face had gone pale, is not a house. It is the finished, operational power station for the Nautilus mechanism, the technology you stole from the company 15 years ago and blamed on Marcus. Marcus stepped forward and presented Elias's ledger to the court, appointed observer. This log proves Arthur's corporate fraud. Elias knew. The Nautilus mechanism was his final failsafe, designed to be activated only by the person who could find the truth and reconcile the injustice. Mr. Davies, the lawyer, stepped in. The codicil's condition 3 is now satisfied. The true steward has successfully completed the mechanism. The trust is dissolved. The Monaco mansion is transferred to Julian Thorne. Arthur exploded. He was legally, financially, and personally exposed. His corporate fraud was now a matter of court record, forcing his immediate removal from Thorne Global Freight. Serena, her entitlement gone, was left with nothing but a worthless share in a foundation. I didn't just inherit the mansion, I inherited the ethical mantle of the Thorne legacy. I used the mansion as the architectural base for my new, sustainable design firm, and used the profits from the Nautilus patent, which I secured with Marcus's help, to fund Elias's charitable foundation. Marcus was brought back into Thorne Global Freight as the new CEO, tasked with restoring the integrity Arthur had destroyed. I had traded a comfortable, ordinary architectural career for a multi-million-dollar legacy built on a puzzle, a revenge, and a redemption. Elias's final, impossible challenge was the greatest gift I could have ever received. Like this video if you think Elias Thorne was the ultimate mastermind of revenge from the grave. Subscribe for more stories about hidden inheritances and impossible family riddles, and share your final thoughts on the genius of the Nautilus mechanism in the comments section below. I'll see you all in the next story.